Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Sunday to you and your family. Hope you're having a fantastic day and a wonderful weekend. We're going to take a look here, of course, at Luna, see what's going on, and kind of go from there. Luna 2.0, if you will. All right, so before we jump in, of course, just want you to know I'm not a financial advisor, right? I love teaching people to trade. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a website. Link in the description below, of course, where you can actually attend my trading academy, community, and signal group. So all really good stuff. Of course, check that out. We got a lot of new members recently. Fantastic to be able to experience that, and just love working with everybody there. Thank you so much for that. Now, take a look here at Terra Luna. We're going to take a look, of course, at the larger time frame, work our way down, because again, to get a good proper analysis, you want to make sure you have, well, as much information as possible, right? And in most cases, when it comes to getting more information, you have to look at larger time frames and work your way down. I've found the most success with that, so try not to just kind of get eagle vision on the 1 minute or the 15-minute time frame. There's a lot more going on in the big picture. You need to recognize the overall momentum and then kind of work on the smaller time frames. Okay, so that's why we look at the daily, and just to kind of note the obvious, we have a pretty healthy retracement here. This is fairly standard, where the price action is coming back down. We're starting to see this type of pennant pattern. You could say a lot of times they oftentimes break to the upside, but we need a little bit more time, honestly, before we get there. But it is working itself into somewhat of a wedge. We can also see that the RSI is coming back down, which is good. It was close to 90. That's way too much. It needs to be under 70, essentially, to be able to have a nice, comfortable, continuation, right? So that being said, if we were to consolidate right around 545, it'd be healthy and excellent to allow for it to leg up again. We just need a little bit more time in this area before we have a chance to continue. So for lack of better terms, at this point, based on what we see here so far, Luna's overextended. It's correcting itself. So is Terra Classic, and they're running very synonymous too. And I'll pull that up on the charts here in a little bit. But whatever Luna's doing, same thing with Luna Classic. They're effectively mirror imaging each other, at least in the last 48 hours. They've been doing almost identical. Obviously, the Terra Classic's been up a little bit further and running, but now that this is up and running, it kind of just jumped up and continued. So I wouldn't expect amazing things from this as far as the immediate future. I mean, the likelihood of it doing another one of these is pretty low, but it would make sense for it to do something like that if it has more consolidation, more time at a specific level, right? That's kind of what we're looking for. So for right now, at this point, we can kind of see this natural progression where the price action comes up and comes on down. It was overextended. We hit up to a 9, tried to push a little further, got a little greedy. The price action is coming down. So hypothetically, we've got, 7 times 4 more hours worth of downside potential. In other words, 24 more hours, we could very well see the price action continue lower to possibly hit 475. Now, there's no guarantee on that, but that was a previous support level. So hypothetically, the price action comes down further. It wouldn't be all that bad for it to bounce off that area and come up, right? I think that would actually be quite healthy. So again, when we have a 9 on TD sequential, the likelihood of it continuing much higher in that same direction is pretty low, especially on the 4 hour. The larger the time frame you go, the more likely it is to turn around. So in that sense, we can kind of see here that we're kind of early into this downtrend. Right. So it'd be nice to see it consolidate here, but it seems also very realistic to see 475. Taking a look at the MACD divergence here, of course, this is telling us that the bears have completely gained control and the bulls are essentially lost control. So a lot of times you can bank a lot on the MACD for the 4-hour time frame. This is my favorite time frame to use it on, and it's most consistent for swing trading, right? But of course, you can still use it for day trading, understand the price is going to continue lower. That's why you look at larger time frames, right? But generally speaking here, for my trading style, this works the best because it really kind of gives us an idea in the last, X amount of hours, it's essentially lost that momentum, right? So just something to kind of pay attention to there. So mostly adverse here for the 4 hour. We can see, of course, we have potential support with the 20 simple moving average working its way up, but it's more likely that the 50 is going to work itself as a support, preferably the 200 eventually. I'm not saying it's going to come down that low, but just generally speaking, the 200-day simple moving average on the 4 hour chart is probably carries the most weight. It's the most beneficial, but again, they're all going to be a little bit out of whack here because we've only been up in this level for a short amount of time, and that makes perfect sense the way things are right now. So mostly, here's the positive though. Keep this in mind with the RSI being back under 70 on the 4 hour. That does give us, potential for the price action to, continue higher, but it probably won't do that. What it'll probably do is come down to the next key level support and essentially, hypothetically bounce, right? And then of course, when you get that bounce, same thing would occur on the RSI at 50. So just pay attention to 50 on the RSI. That's probably a point of contention where the price action could meet the 20-day set moving average and kind of bounce its way up again, okay? But it just seems more likely the price is going to continue lower than it will continue higher. at least in the immediate future. So for all those fanatics, out there, just keep in mind, I'm not discrediting this coin. I'm just simply saying right now it's coming down, and that's just the bottom line. And again, that's what the technical data is telling us. Fundamental stuff, totally different. I recognize there's a burn coming up, and everyone's pretty excited about that. Keep in mind, in burns histories, though, you just got to understand this, they're 50-50. There's no guarantee it's going to go up. I just want you to recognize that. I've seen burns happen in the past, and it was completely uneventful. So just note that. Again, burns are typically positive, but they're not always fantastic. All right, so last thing we want to look at here on the hourly is just the Ichimoku cloud, kind of see if we've caught up with it yet, and we are actually within the cloud here. So what we're looking at here, of course, is, well, this isn't terrible, but this isn't great either. First of all, the lagging span's it's free and clear price action, right? So hypothetically, that's a short signal. Conversion lines below the baseline, also a short signal. The only confirmation we don't have is that the price action hasn't broken below this lower lead in the cloud. And this is what I'm talking about here. You see how that's essentially a support level, and the cloud is working right there concurrent with 475. That's going to be a strong point of contention. So the price comes down, 24 hours later, it should bounce at that level. That's essentially what we're seeing. But you got to keep in mind too, in 24 hours, the price action inevitably will be below the cloud if it doesn't increase from here. And that would essentially give us a short position as well, at least an indication that a short might be viable, right? Again, it is what it is, right? These are the things that we're seeing here. Most of them, lower lows, lower highs, are kind of all adding up to a likelihood of a continuation lower. That's just what it's telling us. And you take that how you will, but I can tell you that you might be better off waiting and being a little patient here, because it does seem to make sense that the price action is coming down. All right, one last thing I want to kind of show you is just kind of the correlation between this and the other, right? So if you take a look at Luna Classic, take a look at this pattern here. Does that not look very, very similar to this pattern here, right? So again, very similar in a lot of ways. If you're going to trade both coins concurrently, you got to recognize that they're both going to probably move up or down in a lot of similar ways, okay? So just again, something to note, add that to your tool belt, and essentially, help you make an informed decision. That's the whole point of making these videos, to get you, to become a better trader, to do this on your own. Like, I've had so many graduates recently thank me for, just a wonderful experience at the Trading Academy. We've got an awesome community, and of course, a trading signals that I send out for every single trade that I take, and we took monster profits on Friday and Saturday. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, seeing if that CME gap gets filled from Bitcoin, and then kind of going from there. But I would just recommend a little bit of caution in taking long positions right now for Terra Luna, and of course, same thing with Luna Classic. They're both kind of hand in hand for the moment. So that's kind of all we got here so far today. I greatly appreciate you joining me, and once again, if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is the website. Link in the description below. You can go ahead and register here if you'd like. There's a lot of different resources here, of course, for you to become a better trader. All right. So we'll look forward to working with you there. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.